Hey guys, we're doing some tumbling drills that you can do at home. We're going to start with some basic shapes, body positioning, and we're going to go through levels 1, 2, and 3 to really think about some stuff we can do at home that will be helpful for those. Okay, we've got Tiffany here, and we're going to look at some basic shapes for tumbling. So some of the most important shapes that we do are the in-curve and out-curve hold. So let's start with the in-curve hold. So I'll have you lie on your back, Tiffany. Perfect. And then we're just going to start by bringing the knees up a little bit and bending them and trying to make sure your back is really flat on the ground. So see how she's rolling her shoulders and her head is not lying on the ground? Perfect. From here, we're going to extend the arms up over the ears. Good. And then straighten the legs out and hold them just a little bit off the floor. This is your in-curve position. It's hard to hold, so we're going to give Tiffany a little break. You can relax. Good. And now I want you to go back into that shape, and when you're in it, I want you to try to rock back and forth while really holding that tight position. You can see here that her toes aren't touching and her shoulders aren't touching. Perfect. That's great, Tiffany. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and roll over. We're going to do the out curve, which is the opposite. And so we're going to do the same type of thing where we're just going to kind of go up into what we call a Superman position. So we're going to have Tiffany lifting her shoulders and her feet, and you can see that good arch, that curve there. Not too much of an arch, but more of a curve. And same thing from here. You can rock back and forth while trying to hold that shape to really develop some strength in it. Perfect. All right, excellent. Guys, we're back. So next we're going to do the bridge. And so bridge is really important for all of our level 1 skills and beyond. And so we're going to start with a flat bridge, I call it. So we're going to have our hands, we're going to push up into a bridge, arms by ears. And what I want Tiffany to do is try to straighten her legs by pushing through her toes and squeezing that way. Great. And so the second one is we're going to bring our feet and try to walk them in towards our hands and make a round bridge. You can see the difference. Perfect, thanks. Okay, so now we're going to look at handstands. And so for handstands, there's 3 things we want to really focus on. The first one is what our hands are actually doing. So we do what's something called triangle hands. So if Tiffany can turn, yeah, you can see that triangle shaping between her fingers. That's really important that you turn those hands in slightly with a handstand. The second one is when we're upside down, we want to be perfectly straight. And the third one is we want to have our feet really squeezed together. So as we do these handstands with Tiffany, we'll be able to see these shapes here. So let's go ahead and just start with a handstand progression. So we're going to put our hands on the ground, trying to get that triangle shape. We're going to just walk our feet up a wall until we get to the top. We'll just hold that position. You can see Tiffany walked in, and she's getting her nose and her toes and nothing else on the wall. That is beautiful. Okay, come on down. Beautiful. Connects. We're going to turn, and we're going to, once we've mastered that, we're going to try to kick up to the wall. So we're going to take a nice big lunge and hands near the wall, pushing all the way, beautiful, into the wall. And you can see that really straight position and how those feet are squeezed perfectly tight. You can come down. Excellent. Okay, now we're going to move into walkovers. And so for walkovers, we're going to break this up into 4 different shapes. We've got Tiffany back, and we've got Coach Becky here to help out with some spotting in case some parents are wanting to help some athletes practice. And so for the first shape, the first part of the drill we're going to do is just a handstand falling into a bridge. And so make sure you really mastered your handstand for this first. It's going to be difficult if you haven't done that. You want to be able to do those drills we mentioned before we move on to this. And if we're using a box, you can also use a panel mat or something if you have it at your house. If you don't, you can use the couch or whatever. Just make sure you check with your parents first and move that coffee table out of the way so you're not hurting yourself at home. All right, so we're going to start with a handstand, and we're going to fall into a bridge. And you'll see that as we go ahead. Coach Becky grabs the back and the feet come down into the box. This is perfect. So that's drill number 1, just handstand into the bridge. And since we're here, we're going to do drill number 2, which is taking the foot that you kick over and just kicking back over. Beautiful. So let's do that one more time. We can talk a little bit more about what you want to think about. So as Tiffany kicks up here, go ahead. You're going to see that she really keeps her body pretty straight there over top of her hands, and her back and her head aren't bumping into whatever she's using to help her with that support. And then as we kick over, we're going to really want to focus on everything your coach tells you. Straight legs, pointed toes, making sure that it's nice and smooth. Great. Okay, moving on to our next 2 walkover drills. The first one's going to be falling backwards into a bridge. And so make sure if you haven't done this before, you have a soft surface to practice it on. You're not just trying it on the carpet or the hardwood. That wouldn't be safe. So, or you have your mom or dad spotting like we do here with Coach Becky. So Tiffany's going to have her feet planted. She's going to really reach up and then stretch back into the bridge, looking for the box and catching. So that's the first part of the drill. And now the second part, we're going to stand back up. She's really going to push her hips forward and stretch all the way back up to where she started. Okay, we're back. If you do not have a box or anything you can use, you can just use the wall for these drills. So we're going to have Coach Tiffany here reach back and tap the wall and then stand back up, just like she did with the box. And you can see our wall has these nice lines on them. You could maybe ask your parents to put some masking tape or something that won't wreck the wall. Be careful, make sure you ask for permission, to create some goals for yourself. And so we're going to try and go down one more time, see if we can go one line lower this time, all the way down. Yeah, beautiful. And then back up. Perfect. You can see how you could adapt that for the house. Great. Okay, now we have Tara here helping us out for this next section, and this section is the most important section with your tumbling progressions, and that is conditioning. So we made up just a little circuit here that's going to address a few different areas that are really important for all this level 1 stuff that we were talking about. So we're going to start with upper body. So you can see here Coach Tara is in a very good push-up position. She's nice and flat. She's lifted through her shoulders, and she's going to go ahead and do a push-up and then power up and swing her feet with a little hop through into a dip position where, again, nice and straight. I saw my hand out in the way there. You can see nice and straight body line, and now she's going to do a dip. Focusing on using those triceps. You can see the fingers are facing forward, and then you would swing back through and push up. Let's go ahead and just do a couple reps so they can get the idea. Perfect. Yeah, exactly like that. Great. Now after that, we're going to come on over here and grab our trusty broom. So this drill can be done with a broom or without a broom or with anything you have to hold over your head. The idea is that we're going to engage our core more by holding the broom above our head, and we're just going to do walking lunges. So you want to get all the way, that back knee just gently tapping the ground or very close, and we're going to have 90 degrees. You can do them forwards and you could do them backwards. Oh, yeah, backwards. Yeah, exactly the same. Slightly different muscle groups, but very important as well. Excellent. And then lastly, can't forget about the core. We're going to use those in-curve positions that we used earlier by doing some rocks. We're going to do an in-curve rock. So you'll see she kicks up to her in-curve position and rocks back and forth like Tiffany did before. You can do this in a set until it's really hard, maybe 10 or maybe 20 or who knows. And then the back one, same thing. You roll over and you go back and forth in that out-curve position. Perfect. So thank you, Tara. So you would go through this. You could start with the chairs. Everybody has chairs usually, so we can start with 2 chairs. We're going to swing through, push up and dip, and then you would come over to the lunges and finish with the core and go through and pick a number of reps that's difficult for you, but not impossible.